All right. So come back to your seat. Back to the moment. Back to your breath. Take some deep inhales through the nose. Exhale through the mouth, letting everything go. Inhale through the nose. Exhale longer through the mouth. And now just inhaling and exhaling through the nose. It's very difficult to take a new inhale if you haven't expelled that old air. So let it all go. Prepare for the next inhale. I'm just starting to move the neck a little bit. So let the chin come down into the throat, elongating the back of the neck. And then lift that chin up, elongating the front of the throat. And then lowering the chin. And then lifting the chin. And then taking your hands behind you, sweeping the hands behind you, just grab your right wrist with your left hand and pull that right shoulder down. Pulling that right shoulder down, and once that right shoulder is away from the ear, tilt your head in the opposite direction. So left ear to left shoulder. Take a nice deep breath into that opening neck. Let it go. And then taking the opposite hand, take your right hand on the left wrist, pull the length away, and then tilt your head to the right. Breathe into that opening neck space. And then coming back to neutral. Come onto your mat, onto hands and knees, coming into table. Spread your fingers apart. Come up onto the fingertips here. So come up onto all the tips of the fingers. And then move that pinky finger away from the ring finger away from the middle finger away from the pointer fingers. Let your thumbs point at each other and then start to lower your weight into the palms. Feel that nice opening in the hands. And now taking the tops of your feet, the shins into the mat, and start to curve your spine coming into cat pose. Make it feel good this morning as you stretch away. Inhale to cow. Exhale into cat. Inhale to cow. When you come into cat pose, really press into the tops of the feet and the shins to get a little more depth. And then into cow posture. And then into a neutral spine. Looking between your hands. Once again, find your breath. And then extend that right leg out behind you. Lift it up. And then lower that right toe to the floor. Just a couple times as we start to prepare the vestibular system for balance. Lift that right heel up and then lower it down. Inhale that right heel up. You can keep it here and then sweep that left arm forward. If your shoulder's okay, pull the navel up into the kidneys for stability. And find your breath. Lowering that left hand, lower that right knee, and come to the second side. Extend your left leg out behind you, lift it up. Use that glute, your left cheek there, butt cheek, to lift that leg and then lower that left toe, the left toes. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Keep that leg lifted. Maybe sweep your arm forward, rolling that right thumb up into the ceiling. Find your connection to the ground here. So using gravity as your friend, press that right shin, right top of the foot into the floor a little bit more to feel a little more buoyant. Still breathing. And then lower that right hand, left knee. Tuck the toes under, rock the hips back. Stay right here for a moment, opening the bottoms of the feet. So a little tuck of the tailbone here should feel good on the lower back. So if you have a little bit of a sway in your back, tuck your tailbone here. It should feel nice as you open up that lower back. Gaze is underneath your chest. Keeping your toes curled under, start to straighten your legs coming into downward dog. Press your left heel into the floor and then press your right heel into the floor, bend your left knee. Just bicycle it out until it feels like the body is gradually opening up on that back side. And then coming into some stillness for a moment here. Taking your awareness into that right leg. You're going to pick that right leg up and cross it outside your left foot. And then start to let your weight fall over to the left a little bit until you can feel your whole right underside of the arm and rib cage open up. And then taking that right foot back from where it came, cross your left foot outside the right, so your pinky toes come together. And let your weight rock over onto the right side. So both hands are still firmly into the mat, even as you let that weight rock over, opening that left side of the body, the intercostals, the left underside of the arm. And then come back to neutral, uncross the foot, and start to step or jump your feet up to the front of your mat. Coming into a forward fold. So put a soft bend in the knees for now. And just let your weight rock into the balls of the feet. And then back into the heels. Pick the toes up. Then rock into the balls of the feet. Pick the heels up. And then rock into the heels. So you'll start to notice that when you are rocking to the front, your back takes over, and when you rock to the back, the front takes over. And then from side to side. So transfer the weight from the right foot to the left, to the right, to the left, and then come into a very neutral place for you to rest your weight. So all four corners of the feet are distributing your weight equally. And soft bend in the knees. Just walk your hands up the body. And then roll the shoulders up into the ears and down the back. Just a few times. Loosen up the shoulders. Roll them up into the ears. Down the back. Bring the shoulder blades close to the spinal column. And then rest them there. Palms are open. Heart is open. Coming into Tadasana. Little tuck of the tailbone here. So if you have a little bit of a sway in your back, bring your hands to your sacrum so you can feel your four fingers on the sacrum, on that SI joint, and then push the sacrum forward. So you're facilitating a little pelvic tilt there. At the same time, you want to draw your navel in. So as we come into some back bends, you want to continue to do that as opposed to let all of the back bending come out from the lower back. As you tuck the tailbone, you're going to bring the upper back into the back bend. So let's do that now. Start to lower your shoulders down your back, lift the heart, press the pelvis forward. Let the head fall back if the neck allows. And then come to straight. And then keep your right hand on your right waist. Sweep that left arm up and over. So the hips move left as your head moves right. And taking that left hand onto the waist, press the hips to the right as you sweep your right arm over the ear. And lifting up. Now slide the hands down the legs. Exhale. When your hands come to your shins, press your hands into the shins. Look up, come to your L shape. And then continue to slide the hands down to the floor. Strong stance here as you reach the arms forward. Now, if this is really intense on your hamstrings or your back, bring your hands to the sides. But as you come up, reach them forward and up. Find your little back bend. And then take your right hand to your right waist, side bend to the right. Inhale, lift. Take your left hand to your left waist. Side bend to the opposite side. Inhale, lift. Hands to the waist. Find that back bend. Tuck the tailbone. Open the sternum up. Lift the heart. And now lead with that heart as you slide the hands down to the shins. Press your hands into the shins. Shins press into the hands. Look up. Take a breath and then exhale. Continue to slide your hands down. This time we're going to do a little twist. So bend your left knee, twist to the right. You can look over that right shoulder, hand on the waist. Exhale, lower that right hand. Bend your right knee, straighten the left, twist to the left. Look over that left shoulder, hand to the waist. Exhale, lower both hands down. Either sweep your arms wide around or up, or sweep them forward and up. Reach to that space behind you. Find a back bend. And then right hand to right waist, side bend right. Inhale, lift. Slowly lower that left hand to the left waist, side bend left. Inhale, lift. Take your hands to your waist. Find a little back bend. Tuck the tailbone. Draw your navel in. And then slide the hands down the body, down to the shins. Press your hands into the shins. Shins into the hands. And then continue on your exhale to lower the hands to the floor. Twist to your right. Look over the right shoulder. Bend your left knee. Right leg straight. Exhale, right hand to the floor, twist to your left. Bend your right knee, look over your left shoulder. Exhale, lower down. Either hand sweep wide around or straight forward, a little stronger. Exhale, hands to the waist. Find your back bend. Press your pelvis forward. Notice as the body heats up. Side bend to the right. Press your hand into the waist. Inhale, lift. Side bend to the left. Inhale, lift. Hands onto the waist. Tuck the tailbone. Open the heart. Slide your shoulder blades towards your spinal column. Then lead with that open heart. Once again, hands to the shins. Press the shins into the hands. Look up. Exhale, keep sliding the hands down to the floor. Knees can be straight or bent, but we're going to twist to the right. Left knee bends, look over that right shoulder. Exhale, lower the right hand, twist to the left. Exhale, this time we're gonna step that right knee back, or right foot back. You're gonna come into a lunge here. So that right ball of the foot is into the floor. Left knee is bent, hands on either side of the foot. Let your body sink down a little bit. So sometimes there's some anticipation in the pose and we kind of resist it. Instead, just kind of sink down into it. It makes the posture a little more joyful. Nice. Now press into that left foot and lift all the way up. Come to Crescent Warrior. This is a nice balanced pose. At the same time, that right hip flexor gets a little bit of love there. Now you've really opened the front of the body, so see if you can do it even in Crescent Warrior. Slide the shoulder blades down the back, lift the heart. Now twisting to your left hand behind you, right arm forward. Left knee stays bent. Now to the opposite side, right hand behind you. Your right foot's gonna just naturally want to go flat here. So come to Warrior Two, right foot flat, left knee bent, gaze over the left middle fingers. And now coming up into Warrior Three, you can come back to that Crescent Warrior where you're on the ball of the foot. Get a little momentum here and come to Warrior Three. Really press through the sole of that left foot. If you need to, you can anchor that big toe to the floor, but eventually see what it feels like to press so much into the floor, into the earth, that right foot just becomes buoyant. Warrior Three. If you're really feeling zestful this morning, you can bring the arms forward for a little stronger posture, but it's not necessary. Wherever you're at now, lower that right foot down, left knee bends. Circle your hands around that left foot, step that left foot back, come into plank. Hold plank for a moment, draw the navel up. You want to knit those lower ribs together. That kind of facilitates a little tuck of the tailbone. And everybody drop the knees. And do knees, chest, chin here. If you prefer chaturanga, where the knees are off the floor, you can lower down where the elbows graze the rib and just lower down. Lift up into your cobra. Heart lifts, shoulders away from the ears. Or you can keep the knees on the floor. Do a knees, chest, chin. Feels a little more awkward, but maybe a little easier on the back. And when you're ready, tuck the toes, seat to heels, downward dog. And looking between your hands, step or jump your feet forward to a forward fold. Press the floor away, reach wide around and up. Exhale, hands in front of the heart. Now stepping the left foot back, come into a lunge here. So you want to bring your hands on either side of that right foot, left leg way back. If you feel kind of like stuck up, start to walk that left foot back a little more so you can lower the hips down. Maybe even start to rock so that you can bring the body awake slowly and gently. And then when you're ready, sweep the arms forward and up, coming into this Crescent Warrior, balancing on the ball of the foot. You want to open the back of that left knee. Now twist to your right. Right hand behind you, left arm forward. Twisting to the opposite side. Warrior Two, left arm behind you, right arm forward. Gaze is at that right middle finger. Now coming into Crescent Warrior again, lift the left heel up. Reach the arms up. Find your warrior 3. Transfer the weight into that front foot. You can keep the ball of the big toe on the floor or start to gradually lift it up. It's helpful, at least for me, to keep pressing through that right leg so the left leg, the back leg, just feels naturally buoyant. Hands can come behind you or reach them forward. And then step it back. Circle the hands around that right foot. Step back into a plank, or you can be on your knees. Stay here for just a moment, either on the knees or into a plank like a push-up. When you're ready, lower down, knees, chest, chin, or straight down like a push-up. Elbows graze the ribs. Slither forward, pubic bone down, heart up. Shoulders away from the ears. Tuck the toes, seat to heels, downward dog. Look between your hands, step or jump your feet between your hands, come to the top of your mat. Forward fold. Either sweep your arms wide around and up or forward and up. You can keep your knees a little bent if you use your arms forward. Find a back bend and bring the palms together in front of your heart. Find your breath. Really appreciate that gravitational pull, how just moving your body against gravity is creating greater respiration, cardiovascular system activated. We're going to do that all over again. Maybe not hold it as long this time. So step that right leg back. Come to a lunge pose. Hands on either side of the left foot, like a runner's lunge. Notice it might already feel a little more available and open. Keep the ball of the foot on the floor. Come to crescent warrior. Right leg back, heart lifts, left knee bends. Inhale. Exhale to the left, twist to your left. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, twist to the right, come to warrior 2, right foot flat. Inhale. Come back into crescent warrior. Right heel lifts. Inhale. Exhale, come to warrior 3. Press into left foot, right heel lifts. Exhale, come back down. Warrior 1. Exhale, circle the hands around that left foot, step the left foot back, and lower down, either knees, chest, chin, or straight down like a push-up. Inhale, lift the heart to cobra. Tuck the toes, seat to heels, downward dog. Look between the hands. Step or jump your feet between your hands. Come back to a forward fold. Press the floor away. Reach wide around and up, or forward and up. Exhale, hands in front of the heart. Find your breath. Step that left foot back. Crescent warrior on the opposite side. Lift up. Inhale. Exhale. Twist to the right. Right arm back. Left arm forward. Sink it down a little bit more. Inhale. Lift. Exhale. Twist to the right. Warrior 2. Your left foot's going to naturally want to go flat. Inhale. Lift. Come back to crescent. Lift that left heel. Exhale, warrior 3 on the opposite side. Right foot plants, left leg lifts. Exhale, lower that left foot. Warrior one. Now lead with the heart. Sweep those hands around that right foot. Step the right foot back. Lower knees, chest, chin, or straight down. Inhale, lift the heart. Tuck the toes, seat to heels. Downward dog. Look between the hands. Step or jump your feet between your hands. Forward fold. Soft bend in the knees as you lift up. Find a little back bend. And then exhale, hands in front of your heart. Lower the hands alongside your body and find your breath. Sink it down. Let all of your weight empty. No anticipation here. So start to, if your eyes are closed, gradually open your eyes and find something about 4 or 5 feet in front of you on the floor. This will be your drishti, something to focus on as you come into some balancing postures, static postures. So we've already done quite a bit. These are a little more static balancing postures. We're going to start out with tree pose. So lots of ways to do tree. We can just turn that right knee out, stay on the ball of the foot, stack your bones of that left leg. If you'd like, move that right foot into the calf or all the way up into that thigh. So because balance often means we're working in opposites, so actually Hatha Yoga means joining of opposites, the sun and the moon. Here you want to press your thigh into the foot into the thigh. Maybe sweep the arms up. And I often really admire blind people because their vestibular system must be amazing. See what it's like to balance without your vision. So start to close your eyes. Notice what happens. It's okay if you fell out. It's just an experiment. Do it one more time. Close your eyes. See what happens. And then if you're still in tree, come out. Come to equal standing pose. Heart open, palms open. Find your breath. Find that drishti point, that focal point, something not moving. Or for some of you, maybe that's your internal breath. That's your focal point. Turn your left toes out, left knee out. Stack your bones of the right leg. Squeeze that right butt cheek here. That helps with stability as well. You can stay here or move the foot to the calf or all the way up into that inner thigh. Sometimes it's helpful, like a tightrope walker, to bring the arms out. Maybe bring the arms up. Keep focusing on that breath. Focus on that drishti point. Experiment if you'd like by closing your eyes. Notice how your vision affects your balance. And then coming out, lower that left foot down, back to equal standing, mountain pose, Tadasana. Find your breath. So we often will hold the breath in balance. Let breath go. Just let it go. Now coming in to dancer's pose. Bend that right knee. Now, if you can't reach your ankle here, maybe you have a strap or like a little hand towel you can put around that ankle. Maybe you need to come to a chair or a wall here. Starting to press the foot into the hand into the foot. Reach your heart and arm, left arm forward as that right arm lifts, right leg lifts. So this is where the drishti and the breath also come into play. If you lose the breath, you lose your focus. Oftentimes you lose the pose. If you're still in dancers, lower that right foot, come back to equal standing. Let the breath go. Second side. Let your weight empty into right leg, bend your left knee. If that knee wants to splay out to the side, you want to bring it back in so that it's pointing down. Roll that left shoulder back. Maybe reach the right arm up, or you can hold on to a chair or a table or a wall. Really feeling that left quadricep come alive here. Start to press the foot into the hand, hand into the foot. Reach that right arm forward. Slowly coming out of the pose. Some days are better than others. Coming back to equal standing. Find your breath. We're going to come into one last standing posture, eagle pose. Cross that right thigh. You might need to lift that right leg all the way up and then cross it. You can anchor that big toe to the floor. Squeeze your thighs together. And then take the left elbow on top of the right. Start to move the backs of that wrist together. Some of you might even be able to interlace the wrists. Lift the elbows up off the chest. This is stage one. If you'd like to make it more of a balanced posture, lift the toe off the floor, bring the bum back behind you, and slowly lower those elbows down over the knee for eagle pose. And then sweep the arms up, lift that right leg up, and then come back to standing. Let the breath go. Notice what comes up. Second side. Lift that left leg up and over. Squeeze the thighs together. You can start with that ball of the foot onto the mat. Right elbow over left now. Bring the backs of the hands together. Maybe interlace the wrists so the palms come together. Lift the elbows up off the chest. Stay here, or maybe lift the toe up off the floor. Send your bum back behind you and bring your elbows up over the knee. And then unravel the arms, bring them up, lift that left leg up, and come back to standing. Find your breath. Turn to face the short edge of your mat. You're going to come towards the back of the mat. Feet to the outside edges of your mat and turn the toes out. So we're going to come into a yoga squat. Some of us have more flexibility in the hips and knees than others. So let's just start out with this first variation. Just forward fold, palms to the floor. Bend your knees as much as you need to get the palms into the floor. Everybody can do this variation. And then slowly start to lower the hips down. Remember that tuck the tailbone? You want to do that in this posture here. Tuck the tailbone, lower the hips, and if the body allows, bring the palms together into this yoga squat. So what we're prepping for is crow pose, which is a pretty challenging balance posture because you're balancing on the arms. If you want to try it, fine. If you don't, that's fine. Sometimes it's kind of fun. Oftentimes it's kind of frustrating if we allow it to be. So to start in crow, bring the palms flat. So you want your hands to be about the width of your shoulders. And start to lift the hips up, but move the knees right into the backs of your triceps. You really want to connect to the backs of the triceps here. Bringing your toes in a little bit. As your weight transfers into your arms, you're at a 90-degree angle with the elbows. Just lift one foot at a time. Gaze is forward. Maybe both feet come off the floor, but only if you feel very stable here. And sometimes you want to fall forward, and you might want to put a little blanket or pillow there. So keep your weight into the triceps. Maybe just transfer the weight off the floor one at a time, 1 foot at a time. If you're done playing, come all the way down and then come on to your hands and knees and come to child's pose. Just let it all go. You can make a pillow with the arms or extend the arms forward. Let the belly fall through. So big toes together, knees apart. Find your breath. Walking the hands back towards your knees. Bring your knees together so that they're about hip width distance and lift up. So this is probably, for a lot of people, a good time to double or triple up your mat so that you can step your knees onto the cushier part, or maybe even bring a blanket underneath your knees. Tuck your toes under. Tuck the tailbone under. Taking the arms out into a T. Start to twist to your right. Look over the right shoulder and maybe start to tilt in. Reach for the right heel as your left arm moves up. Just draping that right shoulder down the back. Keep pressing the pubic bone and the hips forward. Sternum lifts. And bring the arms back out into a T and twist to your left. Looking over that left shoulder, look down at that left heel and tilt in. Maybe reach for that left heel so the right arm comes up and over. And then come back up. Come back into a T with your arms. But bring your hands to your lower back, just like we did when we were standing. You can feel the little grooves of your sacrum in your SI joint. Apologies for my cat. She's making a lot of noise. Tuck your tailbone under and start to drape those shoulder blades down your back. Maybe lift the chin up. If the body allows, you can reach one hand at a time for full camel pose, squeezing the shoulder blades together and maybe drop the skull behind the shoulder blades. If you're still in camel, lift up, unfurl the toes, and come back into child's pose, releasing that lower back. Now coming up onto hands and knees. Plant the left palm under your face. Spread the fingers apart and twist to your right if the right shoulder allows. Sweep that right arm up, gaze into that right hand. And now keep your gaze into that right palm, but start to sweep that right hand underneath you, thread it underneath you, and then come all the way down onto the right shoulder, the right side of your face and ear. Once you allow your body's weight to surrender, place your left palm into your right palm. We're going to come into fallen angel here. Very sweet little and surprisingly challenging for balance pose. So extend your left leg out behind you. Just come onto the ball of your left foot. And then lift that left leg up. So all your weight's going to come into the right shoulder and the right knee. You can stay here or pick that left arm up so the left finger is pointing in the same direction as your left toes. So a lot of times people just kind of fall out like this. And it's kind of fun to do even if you don't have to, because you don't have very far to go and you're not going to hurt yourself. And you kind of let go of any fear that may come up from the pose. Just surrender to it. And then if you've fallen, come back up. And then plant the left palm. Bend the knee back to the floor and unthread the right. Come back to table. Let that rush of oxygenated blood move into that right shoulder. Feel maybe a little tingling, a little heat. Move the right palm under your face and twist to the left. Start to move your belly button, the ribs, look up into that left palm. Gaze into your left palm. Keep that your drishti, your focal point. As you lower that left hand down, thread it underneath you, coming onto your left side of your face, your left shoulder. Empty all your weight into the floor. And bringing your right palm onto your left. Extend your right leg out behind you, coming to the ball of the foot, and lift that right leg up. Slowly transferring your weight into just the left shoulder, left arm, left knee. Maybe take the right arm up so that it's pointing in the same direction as your leg. And just for fun, fall out. So you know that there's no chance of getting hurt and all that fear dissipates. If you fell out, come back up into fallen angel. Lower the right palm into the floor. Lower the right knee. Unthread that left arm. Come back into table. Okay, last balance posture. Start to transfer your weight into the right knee and right hand and stack your left shoulder over right. So coming into this gate posture, it's a supported side plank. Just lifting that left leg up. So balancing on that right knee. If you'd like, turn it into a back bend here by bending the knee. Sliding your right hand down the right shin, reach for your foot and pull that leg behind you. Opening the heart, balancing, gaze over that left shoulder. If you have the bind, release it, lower that left leg and come to the opposite side. Right leg out, stack your right shoulder over left. Come into this supported side plank. Maybe tuck that or draw that right femur bone into the hip socket and lift that right leg up. Maybe turn it into a back bend, reaching for the ankle or the shin, pull that leg behind you. Turn it into a back bend as you balance. If you have to bind, release it. Lower the hands and come all the way down onto your belly. Make a pillow with your arms. Bring your forehead to the arms. Find your breath. And then just rolling over onto your back. So the knees are bent. Back comes into the floor. Just rock from side to side so you can get those shoulder blades underneath you and make some space between the earlobes and the shoulders. Maybe your middle finger even touches the backs of the heels. We're just going to come into a couple of variations for an inversion. So you can start by bringing your wrists underneath your hips or your sacrum, sitting them back down onto the backs of the hands and wrists, and bend your knees, hug them into your chest, and extend the legs up. This is just a nice supportive kind of inversion. You can stay just like this. We're going to be here for about a minute and a half, wherever you've chosen. If you'd like to go into a full shoulder stand, that's also a nice inversion, but not necessary to reap the benefits. If you do want to go into full shoulder stand, you just start to get a little momentum and sweep those legs behind you. Toes come to the floor, and you start to bring your elbows together, hands flat on the back. The more you move the hands down towards your shoulder blades, the straighter upright you'll come in your shoulder stand. So if you feel like you can't breathe in either variation, press the back of your skull into the floor so your chin will lift up off of the throat a little bit. Slow down the breath here. Slow down the breath by making the exhales longer, making room for a new inhale. If you're in full shoulder stand, come back to plow, bringing your toes back behind you. Release your back, and then using your core strength, roll on out. Now everybody will be in that first variation. If your hands are under your hips, remove them out from under your sacrum And everybody to the count of 10 is going to lower the legs. So the thighs come together, ankles together. Press your lumbar spine into the floor as you lower the heels. 10, 9, 8. Keeps pressing your belly towards the floor. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. Keep lowering the heels. 2, 1, and then release. And then roll that left shoulder blade underneath you, and then the right, opening up your heart. So we have about 7 minutes for Shavasana. But if there is one other or two other poses you'd like that will make you feel like you've completed your posture, you've released all tension, maybe you do a twist, maybe another hamstring stretch, maybe happy baby pose to release the back. Just take the next minute or so to do any kind of posture that speaks to you. Just let it organically happen. Maybe it's right into Shavasana, and that's what speaks to you, and that's fine too, of course. So if you've done one side, make sure you even yourself out on the other side. And then when you're ready, extend the right leg out and then the left. And then roll that right shoulder blade underneath you and then the left. Roll your head from side to side, releasing any residual tension in the neck, giving yourself a little massage on that lower brain. And then eventually bringing your head to a neutral place to rest. Arms are about a foot or two away from the body, palms open, heart open. Surrender all weight, all effort, and just be here now. So in Shavasana, this corpse pose, you're letting go of any habitual patterns in your body, in your mind. And the best way to do that is just stay vigilantly present. Maybe notice the breath, which is always present, moving in through the two nostrils and out through the two nostrils, uninhibited by the mind. Maybe you notice tingling or heat or moisture upon the body from the hard work you've just done. starting to awaken out of this corpse pose, bringing some new life to the body, just opening and closing the hands. And then take all 4 fingers around the thumbs and start to make circles with your wrist joints. And then in the opposite direction, slow circles so that you can observe any places that are overworked, overstressed. And then start to let the ankle joints join in, making circles with the ankle joints. And then in the opposite direction. And then sweeping the arms behind you. Just take a nice stretch awake. Stretching the whole body in a way that feels good. And bending one knee at a time and rolling over onto your right sides into a fetal pose. Letting gravity take you into the floor for these last few moments. Really feeling completely present. When you're ready, start to use the strength of that top hand to press yourself up into a comfortable seat where we began to close the practice, to make the complete circle. Any kind of comfortable seat. Just closing your eyes for the last minute or so. Soften that space between the eyebrows. Smooth the skin where the hairline and forehead meet. Let your head balance perfectly on the axis of the spine so that it doesn't feel like it wants to fall forwards or backwards or to one side or the other. It's perfectly neutral. Adjust and arrange your body for that to feel so. Bringing the palms together. This is a gesture of gratitude, Anjali Mudra. Maybe taking a moment to thank yourself for giving your body and mind this time. Taking care of your body and your mind so that you might be able to take care of others better. The light in me bows to the beautiful lights in each of you. Namaste. So gradually allow your vision to come back. I'll unmute you if you would like, or you can unmute yourself, I guess. Hopefully. Thank you for being here, you guys. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I don't know how many. The survey I sent out was anonymous, so I don't know who took it and who didn't. But I got a lot of really good feedback, so I'll share that with you. Unfortunately, Jules, since then, just yesterday, told me she could not
allow me to teach on Mondays because she had some privates. So I can't do that anyway, but not a lot of people could go out to Davisburg, but it's still just to let you know that Jules could not do that on Mondays after all at her gazebo. But, so thank you very much. I love being here with you, and you guys allow me to do my practice too. So thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ann.
Appreciate it.
See you soon. Bye.
Have a wonderful day.